Welcome back to another episode of the Cousin Cecil Show. I'm your host, Mike Fowler, aka Cousin Cecil. How are you? How was your week? Yeah, I know I missed a week. It's all right. I'm like I do every time. It's only been 2 times I've missed, but I've more beat myself about it more than I should. But I just didn't have time last week. I almost didn't have time this week, as you will understand by the time this comes out. But I just didn't feel it would not be Cousin Cecil without at least getting my information I wanted from the DC FanDome. And also, just do a quick pie touch up on some of the video game news that I missed that I feel should be still mentioned, or at least my opinions on it. But why don't we just get right into it? Because honestly, I've been also busy enough that the only thing I've been playing was I jumped back into Fortnite just for I wanted to. I'm doing it to try to catch up on playing some games with people, but and then also what is it? Death Stranding Director's Cut. I didn't get that far. I'm probably about where I ended last time, which when I say it, you're like, oh god, you didn't even get that far. I just walked to Westport Knot City, the one that's kind of like the first time that you really have a conflict of like you have to either run from the BTs or fight with those grenades. And then I just got, so people understand too, like this is like after the getting a generator so I can use that bicycle and all that stuff. I don't want to be like that person, like I've been trying to say. I don't want to go, this is way better because just because of having a new system, but the 60 frames is definitely something. And then there is something to it that I feel a little faster, like the walking, maybe because of the more frames. I don't know how it is. I don't want to sound stupid about it, but like with the 60 frames, it feels like it feels more natural. It feels more lifelike. Like faster walking. It feels a lot better than it did on my old PS4 for that part. And then but basically that I got to I've been trying to catch up on some movies and TV. HBO, which we'll get into with the FanDome, but it's definitely been I'm more shocked to how fast some of these stuff is. They should have the Wonder Woman Justice Society movie on there by now, but they have the Batman's The Long Halloween Part 1 and 2 already on the Max, and I've been watching them. That's really good. I haven't got to get into Doom Patrol Season 3 yet, only because I'm like, you know what? We got, from my recording now, we have one more week of tight ends, and then maybe I can then focus myself onto a new series. And also another news this week, actually of today of recording. Apparently Hulu on FX has canceled Y the Last Man. So it will not be doing season 2 of Y the Last Man. The showrunner has stated they're going to be trying to get a new home for the series. And I mean, the only place I could think of that should take it is HBO Max. It'll just keep the same idea that it's under the DC flag, even though it's Vertigo. They have another Vertigo series going on HBO Max, DMZ, which again, spoilers for the FanDome. But yeah, kind of stinks. I've been in a group message with One Mic podcast. So go check him out on YouTube. He does great reviews on TV and movies. He has a very thoughtful opinion that should be recognized. He's been getting really good views on his YouTube, but go check him out. And then also with Delvin, and we I like how I do that. And he has a very good point, and obviously his opinions are definitely showed into how probably the series has gone, in the idea of like the first season of Why the Last Man was a very slow burn. I know we picked it as a hot pick. I know that. But also I was going off the coattails of the comic. And there is a clash between how a season or series should welcome a newcomer to the IP compared to a compliment to the series. Where I was going into Why the Last Man Season 1 as, I see what you're doing. And clearly you have to, how can we revamp a old series idea, because it came out in 2002 or 2001, excuse me. And we have to bring it up to this day and age. So there obviously will be more trans men. There obviously will be more women in titled spots that don't make them feel so damsel in distress, or the idea of like that. So we have to go over that hurdle. And I think they were going somewhere. But the Why the Last Man was just doing such a slow build in certain conflicts that maybe shouldn't have been spotlighted as long. Maybe we could have had a little bit more, because I will say this too. I liked the casting. I had no problems with the casting. Some people did. The person who plays Yorick, the person who plays 355, the person who plays Dr. Mann. They seem almost perfect and written for this spot. But the problem is, if there's been, don't quote me, if there's been 5, or let's say this, if there were 6 episodes of Why the Last Man, and 355's hijinks going on, the rest were either about Diane Land's character, or there was one very nice, like tits galore and bush everywhere episode with Hero, the Yorick's sister. And in fact, Hero had 2 episodes, but the fifth, her second episode was a lot more scantily clad. But it was a slow burn that was not in the right way to introduce you, especially during this. Also, you know what? It could be also the show came out at the wrong time. The idea, guess what? We're in a weird post-current pandemic world, and we're going to have a show about another pandemic. You know what I mean? It might be a little too on the nose at this moment in time. Well, as I, just want to more left off say, I do hope it does find a new home. There was something there. Also, it could obviously use probably a new showrunner, in a way that the lady made some good points, but also at the same time, it was a slow build. It was a very slow burn, and just there were parts, if you read Why the Last Man, you probably would like season, so it would be a good complimentary thing, but they should have improved ways to introduce the story and the characters to newcomers a little bit better. I'll leave it like that. And then for gaming news, we'll get into some quick gaming news, because like I said, one thing I missed while I was off, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, revealed its final DLC character. And who could it be? Could have been Goku that people have always said. Could it be Waluigi? Could it be finally taking that blunder off so that we can have Waluigi in the game? No. They have Kingdom Hearts Sora was the final character of the DLCs. And then also to find out from the creator, he said Sora was the number one pick back when they did votes with the 3DS Smash Brothers. So it's been a long time coming. They did a whole presentation and all that fun jazz. And it just, hey, it's another sword-wielding anime character. I mean, people seem like they're excited, but that was probably the last news from Nintendo before they kind of threw a piece of shit at their fan. And then people have been mixed reviewed on this. Of course, we had Metroid Dread come out, and they've been getting reviews and all that stuff. But another thing that happened was Nintendo has announced their new expansion pricing for the Nintendo 64, Sega Genesis expansion pass for their Switch Online. They have now made their $20 a year single person price tag go up to $50. And they made it so basically I think currently the family plan was like $37, and now they made the family one go up to $80. I don't know what they're doing. This has definitely been a mixed feelings, opinions this whole week and stuff with Nintendo fans. They also did another little trick for this pricing that I didn't actually mention at the beginning, but let's get into that part too. They also had a Animal Crossing direct about the next free update, and then there was a paid DLC coming for Animal Crossing New Horizon. We'll go with the free stuff. Just basically, it was called Update 2.0, which will give them, of course, new materials, new skins for fencing and walls and just decorations. Let your character get into more tighter spaces, so you can have if you have a highly fully condensed living room and has I don't know, I'm going to say spacings, but I don't think Animal Crossing goes by this system. But maybe you had a coffee table, so it made it look like your couch and coffee table only had half a square, so your Animal Crossing villager couldn't fit into it. Now your villager understands to walk sideways and get in there in those tight spaces. That's always cool. Because I watched the direct without being a Animal Crossing owner. So I was watching, I'm like, okay, all this update 2.0 stuff, I'm like, okay, now this definitely does feel, everything in that free update felt like should have been there in day one, but at least it's free for everyone at this time. The 2.0 should have been how Animal Crossing, the Switch version, should have came out, in my opinion. I'm like, oh, wow, you guys can now have permanent ladders or for certain cliffs, and you can do those tight fit spaces. That definitely sounds like something that should be in the game right off the launch. But I digress. So definitely the free update felt like a very good quality of life update. Now, the paid DLC, which I can't remember the name, it's Happy Seasonal Vacation or some shit. It is basically you get a job and you become in Animal Crossing, you kind of become hey, all your villagers, or you go work at this building that these people want to have their dream vacation homes. Okay, and then you basically make their wish come true. You put them on these certain islands. Certain islands have like different seasons. Some of them are in different locations. You know, all the random stuff you're expecting. And it also brings you some things that you can then, it makes it so that your own island, your real island, you can go help your villagers there to have dream vacation homes too. And all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. To me, the free update felt more needed or wanted compared to this paid one. But then we got to hear the big ball. The other shoe fell on the ground for this. Apparently, the paid DLC is worth $25, or you can buy the new expansion pass system, because the Animal Crossing's DLC that is paid is included in with the new yearly membership. The part that is still confusing, the fine print, is this like a PS Plus, Xbox Game Pass style? Like, is this expansion pass free till you stop paying? Is it free for the first couple months? Is it only available? But you know what I mean? Nobody knows besides Nintendo. No one has got the answer yet. And I still think even that DLC is not worth them trying to make it look like it's the better hand to grab. But yeah. Let me just do my quick little double checking on a video game story wise, if I'm missing anything that I really care about. I guess the only thing I'm missing in my there's three things. One of them is Rockstar teased and then delivered the news that the PS2 GTAs 3, Vice City, San Andreas, are getting a remastered edition coming out. They just said, yeah, it's real, it's coming. But what is it? The media kit, like the media announcement said, these are getting some upgraded graphics, some of them, but like it ain't no like from the ground up build increase of quality. I think there's just more improved quality of life remastered stuff. And then the other part of that is kind of like, whoa, is Rockstar. There's rumors that Rockstar is going to try to sell this for $70. Get the fuck out of here. That's all I can say right now, because obviously that's the only news I know, because there was no video footage or stuff. Just the idea. I think that's kind of crazy. Them going. This will be what, the fourth time for this trilogy of games to try to sell you again. It's getting ridiculous for the people. Some of these studios are getting ridiculous of feeling their opinions on their game IPs. And then the second thing that's still good, but basically G4 TV, which been doing like a soft reboot through YouTube, has announced that it's going to come back in 2022 on certain select cable providers and / like streaming services. So like you can watch it. Did I see it say Comcast? Let's say, I'm pretty confident they said Xfinity, so Comcast is going to have the channel, and also Twitch. So I mean, at least there's Twitch. If you really want to have a classic G4 again, they're going to have it on that. So that's cool to hear. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I was excited to hear that it was coming back for the YouTube stuff, and I have not watched anything from the YouTube stuff. So I'm a hypocrite if I'm so happy, and then I didn't even watch it. So, it's just so people know it's coming back to real TV. We'll see how it goes there. And then the only other thing that happened that I care about, besides we're going to get into the DC FanDome, was Twitch had a major leak of basically people's receipts of how much they earned on Twitch. And that's just obviously, it goes into that other thing of like, oh, we'll have another mess up of Twitch things. Hey, you guys have hate trains going around, bots just flooding people's streams of different minorities, so that's shitty. And now you just gave away some of your top people's, and not even just top, everyone's salary, or not salaries, earnings from your service. So it's just another one of those, like, what is going on there? You know, that stuff. Like some of the ones, like, I don't even remember the guys' names, but some of the big, like the one things I saw that were like impressive were a lot of the top people weren't, let's say, the video game guys. Some were just like the YouTubers or Twitch, I guess Twitchers, that just do like reactions. They just do like these opinionated, like some of them play, but like just the idea, like they get more from being the drama or reactionary people than some that you would think be some top quality gamers. But yeah, that's basically it for that part of it. Let's actually get into what made me feel real good. The whole this whole thing was, we had the DC FanDome this week, and I'm not, of course, I'm not doing it as a favoritism, but I think it was a really good show again. I think this one was maybe, how would I word it? This one definitely has a lot. They were trying to be a lot less excited. They kind of had the playing field of like, here's the things we're going to talk about, and here are not so much. We're not here to. There are going to be surprises, but keep your expectations down. And but we'll get into it like that. I'll try to do it slow. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna be looking. I'm not probably gonna go by perfectly moment to moment, like this would happen, then the next thing was this happening. But we'll get into at least. I remember the first thing that happened on the DC FanDome was we got our the first look at Black Adam, and I came in. We saw they showed concept art. Of course, they showed him on the set. They kind of had this whole, sizzle reel with like the actors and actresses talking about, it was an amazing time filming it. And then they also gave us they showed not people in their suits, but they showed like the emblems of like, hey, I'm Hawkman. It shows kind of like how his chest symbol, which is just a strap, like a belt strap around his chest, to say Hawk with the Hawkman logo. They showed the Cyclone's chest piece. They showed Atom Smasher's chest piece. Just these small little squares of like their costume. And they and also Dr. Fate with Pierce Brosnan. But the one thing that it was kind of a surprise for me was they actually showed footage, and they said, here's a small snippet. It was literally maybe 45 seconds, maybe just a minute of Black Adam. And they actually showed, what they showed was, it was like a excavation team going into this. To me, it looked like a tomb. And they were looking, there's a floating crown, and they touch the crown, and then boom. It does this happen so fast, so I'm assuming there'd be sections. We were watching a cut up section. You see one of the girls who were the main explorer go Shazam, and then Black Adam appears. And she's working with like some, looks like mercenaries, and he kills them in a very Black Adam style, like one pick him up and then electrocute him into dust. It was very, it made me, I'm like, okay, this definitely gets me hooked up. This feels awesome to see their direction. And I was very excited to see their direction of a Black Adam in that small segment. And then, again, we're not going to probably go in the right direction, but I do know where we're going to end on, which is the Batman, just like they did. But next they showed like a small sizzle reel of like Aquaman just behind the scenes on production site, on site, and show like new like Black Manta's new costume. Looks a little way more closer to, like, I thought the first one was like, okay, that's pretty close to comic, but this one makes it even more closer to comic. That one didn't have no like new footage. It was just more like the the pre-production, like we're on set, look at the blue screens, look who's here. I'm more impressed, not impressed. I was more shocked they even showed Amber Heard with all that the whole controversy with her. And then, but yeah, I forgot also if Black Adam gave us a date. I think Black Adam might be coming out I looked it up. It says it'll be coming out July 29th, 2022. And then next was kind of the starting of what they used as a way to get like more quick news fire. But they started with the CW's The Flash. And they started to show Grant Gustin, and also then it goes into this new like DC News Flash, and he has the girl who plays Iris West become the reporter and be able to come announce stuff. And like the first announcement was in the next season of The Flash, Barry gets the golden boots. That's been kind of like the missing part of his costume. One, I'm just saying that, but also two, it's never been like an issue with me of watching the series. Like, oh, I wish he had his gold boots, but now he's going to start to look like to his final form of the Flash, which, that's always cool. I will say the FanDome, I think they did a really good job, again, balancing movie hype to TV hype, and we still did not get any word from a lot of the Max TV series spots they teased or announced last year. So that's kind of impressive to know that we still have that much more content for DC fans to come down the road. And then another thing, also the Aquaman was next, like I said, and that was December 16th, 2022 is the release date they're planning on. I bet money that might get delayed, but we'll see. And then next for a news-wise, they kind of did a trailer for the first quote-unquote movie. It's called, because it's called an animated trilogy. HBO Max has a TV a series of Aquaman that is a cartoon, and I ain't gonna lie, there's a lot. There might be a list of hot picks coming down the road, but I watched the first Aquaman, King of Atlantis, episode 1 of the animated trilogy, and the cartoon animation is I can't even put a finger on it, but it's like it's definitely that Cartoon Network Clarence with like the facials of like I don't want to say Teen Titans Go, but the idea of like very over the top animated faces, and then also there's moments when the faces are just literally 2 dots and a smiley face, but it works. And I was more impressed. The first episode is 45 minutes, but it goes into that. I'm more impressed. DC and HBO is doing double down on Aquaman. Aquaman that we'll talk about. I know that he's had his 80th anniversary too, like everybody else, but it's very well done. And it also does like it has a comic book villain that you probably would never see on movies or TV, so it's a great place to put them. And then it ends on a really interesting cliffhanger, but no, it's very funny. Mira is over the top, like action. She can create and they make fun of Aquaman talking to fish, or like it's very well done. It's like the perfect mix of like that Cartoon Network humor with a DC hero that's not. It's not Harley Quinn adult humor, but it's everyone can enjoy humor, and I liked it. I liked it very much. Next was probably the biggest out of it that was still from information we learned from last year. But they had Milestone Comics come out again, the two gentlemen from last year, and they announced that, long story short, this current run, which, I've been collecting Static. I should have collected the Hardware and Rocket and Icon series, but they announced that the missing piece of the original Milestone universe, Blood Syndicate, is there. The Blood Syndicate season 1 of this new current run is coming next year. I believe they said in July. So that's cool to hear about the story that wise. And then they also announced a couple things. They also announced like there will be multiple volume compendiums of the original Milestone run. So they kind of joked about it. They said 1,300 pages is the first volume. And it is a mix of like, you'll have a complete, I don't even know how many issues are in the original run of Milestone, but volume 1 is majority of all Static, majority of all Icon, majority of Hardware and Blood Syndicate. But that's very amazing that they're doubling. I'm glad I got excited to hear it, that I want to get it. And then we'll see. There's no news like directly of like say like, oh yeah, this is coming out this month, but it's coming soon. But where is it? Yep, the Compendium season 1, and they also announced that they have in the works 2 movies. Yes, 2 movies. A live action Static, produced by Michael B. Jordan, which that's been teased probably almost a year now, that Michael B. Jordan's been interested in doing something like that. I don't know if he's acting in it, but he's producing the Static movie. And the next, which is again goes into how DC's been doing very well in their animated shows. They have an animated Milestone universe movie coming soon. And that's some big news. And then also one more, just because this is the shit I like. DC has been doing a lot of like trying to find young creators or blah, blah, blah. But now there's going to be another fraction of this called the Milestone Initiative, where obviously it's Milestone creators are looking for like the next Black comic book creators to help make, and they put statistics out there of like, there's black comic creators make less than 30% of like the actual comic book world, and they just want to help highlight. And like, you know what, when I heard this, I'm like, you know what, I know people that I who's been nice enough to come to the show has been I've made stories that I enjoy. Like I could think of, like Brian Hawkins would be a great pickup. The gentleman who's doing Savage Wizards, but also did Ghost Gauntlet. Leslie, he would be another great pickup of like someone get highlighted from like a Milestone Initiative to get into a DC book. It'd be very interesting to see, and also just great to know. And that was basically it for like the milestone segment. And then we got our first not info. We got to see a new trailer for the Rocksteady's Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. And it looks really good. It still says next year, does not say when next year, but it says 2022. And the only thing I came out of it was, I feel James Gunn's movie has already trickled down into some of the hijinks of how the Suicide Squad is portrayed. And again, I'm not saying it bad, but the idea of like they went a little too hammy in the music. I didn't like the music of the trailer, but I do like seeing like, yes, we're dealing with Brainiac controlled superhero Justice League. Like we saw Flash in the trailer. We saw Jon Stewart, Wonder Woman, Captain, Superman. And then they had like the Suicide Squad had to go like interact with like Penguin. And like when I say about hijinks, like at the end, it involves like Boomerang and King Shark getting Penguin shocked. And he's laying on the ground. He's like, oh no, I don't think you got him. All right, hit him again. And then you see him like, twitching on the ground and they're all joking. I'm not saying that's not a good thing for a game or even in a movie period. It just like, I can always feel the Suicide Squads. But again, at the same time, I'll be like this. What did you want? Do you want them to be always serious? No. So I'm trying to get the positiveness. Besides, I still don't like the James Gunn Suicide Squad, but that's because of I don't like context in certain things when you have superheroes or supervillains that need superheroes. But that's a whole nother, that's a whole nother episode. Go find that Diary of a Defeated DC Fan. That was my, But the next, they did the thank you from the Suicide Squad team, but then it goes into showing Peacemaker TV series, and they kind of did the same thing they did with Suicide Squad. They had the whole cast in like those like Hollywood Square Zoom meeting squares to say and have them talking with James Gunn, which again that's fine. It goes into the connectivity of how the FanDome works, and then they show us a trailer for the season, and the only thing I could take from it was I will watch it, of course. But I don't think they're making Peacemaker seem to me like a DC's version of Deadpool. Is that bad? No. Can Peacemaker probably be closer to... I need to also read the Peacemaker in the newest current run of Suicide Squad before I say anything. But I have a feeling that Peacemaker there, it does not act so jokey Deadpool-y. In the TV series, he definitely feels like a jokey, like they even talk about it. There's even a segment when he's, I'm a hero, I'm Peacemaker. And like, no, who's Peacemaker? Ha ha ha. And like him dancing in his tidy whities and all this stuff. Not saying it's bad. The idea, even him joking around shooting guns and he's doing pelvic whatever, and he has a friend who's the vigilante, the actual character vigilante, and then to me, there's a spot where it looks like they're either fighting, it's either Ambush Bug or Kite Man. I'm not saying it's bad. I just wish. I think Peacemaker is definitely a person who can be fine. He don't have a true hero besides he's dealt with the Teen Titans, and he has a weird backstory. So he's okay in my book. That's why I might watch it or not. I will watch it and I might enjoy it, even though the trailer makes me get the same, oh no, James Gunn is the one trick pony vibes again. Next, they did like a little touch base with Superman Lois, just more saying season 2 is coming, blah, blah, blah. And then a more touchier one for real CW fans. Supergirl had kind of like I don't want to say retrospect, but they had the whole cast sit down. We'll just, favorite moments, blah, blah, blah. What did the show do to you? There's a couple of retrospects in this year's FanDome. And, I think it was some bold moves because when Superman Lois was announced and they said Supergirl is not canceled, but they're ending it. I'm like, that's coincidence. They said Supergirl's cool until they got the actual boy's IP of it. So I'm like, that's interesting that they did that. But, push come to shove, there's maybe Supergirl can only do 6 seasons, blah, blah, blah. That's one series that got away from me. Maybe it's because it started on CBS and I just didn't watch it yet. But I like Warner Brothers. If you ever listen, and I'd love to be part of the mailing list of getting DVDs and stuff I could clearly review for you. I'd love to get like the complete series of all your shows, like Supernatural, Supergirl, Legends, all that fun jazz. But yeah, then they also had a mid-season trailer for Stargirl season 2, which is going on right now. And without doing a teaser, or not teaser, because I have not watched season 2 yet. The only thing I can see that the big reveal of that trailer was, oh look, we have a Midnight Man at the end. Do not know what's going on in that story, so I don't want to tease it. And then they also show one more Superman-ish thing is the thing that they already announced prior, but they have My Friend Superman, whatever the new animated series that's coming. That's very, it is very, what's the word? If you guys been looking into that Wayne family webtoon comic on Webtoons, it has that style of art for Superman and Lois's cartoon-ish. It looks fine. It looks definitely more, it looks very neutral. Like it's not for boys. It's not for girls. It's for everyone, which is fine. But like that art style. And then they actually had Jim Lee have the chance to say the thing that they announced this week was in Tom Taylor's Superman, which is John Kent, Superboy, who has took the mantle of Superman since his dad's on War World or something, which they also talk about that too. But the big thing that happened was John Kent is going to come out in issue 5, which is, doing quick math, in November. Issue 5, he'll come out as bisexual. And he already has a love interest, which is another reporter. And I forgot the boy's name. But I think it's fine. I'm also a person of, if you're going to go down that road and make him bisexual, I just hope it can last long enough that maybe we can have multiple love interests. Maybe not at the same time. Granted, that'd be funny. Not funny, but like, if you're bisexual and you're a superhuman alien, and like, not saying, don't get into that whole libido thing, but the idea of like, let him have 2 loves. Have him have a polyamorous fucking life because he's Superman. He, whatever. But the only thing right now is in this series, he's going to find his boy. And then we already technically have another love interest because in Future State, it showed that he was having a love interest with Wonder Girl, which is Yara Florell from, the newest Wonder Woman. And then the next big thing, which I ain't gonna lie, when they said it, I'm like, I thought this was it already, but maybe they just finally got the trademark. They changed Superman's motto from Truth, Justice, and the American Way to this is definitely better since it's more for more world. Truth, Justice, and a Better Tomorrow. So, yeah, that was cool and much needed for a new motto. And then what was next? So, oh boy, yeah. They even had Cam Newton on here saying that his hat company Mishka or whatever, however, Mishka Mushka, whatever the fuck it is, having Superman, it's Mesika, Meshika, are having exclusive hats inspired by Superman coming out. And who knows, they're probably worth a small car. Next, they did a small teaser, which I'm pretty confident I've seen this teaser, so I don't think this is a exclusive to FanDome, but of Legend, or the lead, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Krypto and Kevin Hart as Ace. And then that is set to come out May 20th next year. 2022 might be the year of DC. Even though, or the idea that it might be the year that they actually have some legit movies that can compete with the 2022 slate of Marvel. And I'm looking forward to it. Because we haven't even got to the end of like, oh, you mean the Batman? Which we'll get there. We'll get there. Next, they had a small segment of, just double checking. Oh yeah. The 2 HBO Max series, Doom Patrol, got a teaser for the mid-season of Doom Patrol Season 3. And even Titans got a final trailer for like the final 2 episodes of the season. And they both got renewed for Season 4s. So that's good to hear. That's good news, for fans and myself. The only thing now, after retrospect, I didn't think about it until right before I recorded. I'm like, you know what? Could you imagine if we got a Season 2 of Swamp Thing? But yeah, no. Next was The Flash. And they had Ezra Miller kind of go hello, or it made him look like he's on set, and he sounded weird. Like he sounded like he didn't want to be there a little bit. I'm like, oh boy. But they did the same thing like they did with Black Adam. They said there's in post-production, but me and the director, we made a little sizzle. So here you go. And we'll break this one down because this is a lot more interesting. So it looks like it starts off with Barry coming out of a taxi, and it shows, let me see if that has to be either come out of a taxi and turn on a light, and it looks like he's at Wayne Manor. Let's be more real about that. But then it starts showing this flashback of him. Looks like he's standing in front of his house, his old house with his mother, but in his new Flash suit, and basically does that whole tease like, what if you can go back in time and fix something, blah, blah, blah. But when you go in the past, you actually affect the future. Basically the typical Flashpoint teaser. But the real big part of it that was cool is there's a moment where these 3 people are looking at each other. And it was Barry, Ezra Miller with long hair, so it looks like he's from a different timeline, Barry, and the new Supergirl. But take another back step to the long-haired Barry. If you stop the footage, he is wearing that teaser that we saw that looks like it was Batman's suit painted red with the Flash logo. That's what he's wearing. And they show the back, then it makes him look, and then it transitions to look like we are looking at the back of Michael Keaton's Batman's head. And it does like the whole Flash thing, and it shows like the long-haired Barry. So I'm thinking long-haired Barry is from the Zack Snyder-esque style of this story, because stick to me what I'm going to say. Then they show the Flash, and then it shows him basically showing a Batmobile under a drape, and he pulls the drape and he goes, "Whoa!" in black. It's all black, so you don't see what he actually sees. But with that joke that they did in Justice League where he runs it or he zips into the seat, it definitely makes sense. And then next, they kind of did a highlight to John Ridley, who's been doing other history of the DC Universe and also I Am Batman. I think just more saying, why he wrote, because obviously he wanted to highlight some people of color superheroes. So totally makes sense. And then apparently on November 9th is when the complete trade of all 5 books of the other history of the DC Universe comes out. I have all 5 issues right now, so I don't need that. And then next was a teaser for the Injustice movie that's coming out right now, or it is out, that's been getting really bad reviews. Said it's actually not really good. So they had that. They had even Jeff Keighley, Ed Boon talking about, and then they have forgot the guy's name, but the guy from This Is Us, and he also plays Green Arrow from Smallville in this conversation too. He must have played somebody in the voice acting of Injustice, the movie. But yeah, it seems okay. Again, I've never watched it or even been that in tune with the Injustice story besides knowing how it started with Joker and Superman. But yeah, next after that was I think next was the thing that got me excited, was just more that the same like sit down conversation with the new director of Blue Beetle, the producer, and then I forgot the kid's name, but he was on the TV scene, Xolo, Xolo, I think his name is. And again, this is still in pre-production stuff, and they showed exclusive concept art for like the suit that's going to be in the show. And honestly, I think movies are okay to have concept art. Of course, people like to gripe about or games have concept art moments, but no, with movies, I do think it's funny though. With a movie like with Blue Beetle, like I don't even know why there's concept art. There's comic books with art itself that could be used as reference, but yeah. Next was a I think 20 year anniversary little quick sit down with just the two, with Lex Luthor and John Kent or Clark Kent from Smallville. They did like a small little snippet, just conversation. And then just more to say, like the complete series is finally hitting Blu-ray this and next week or either November. I think it's next week. Next was the final big. Next was the next game tease for Gotham Knights, and this one was more not so much a. Well, no, I lied. It started off with, who is it? No, it was a little bit of a teaser, a little bit of not. It was like a production studio trailer. It showed like there will be different forms of the Talon, which seems no-brainer now after realizing it. So there might be scrawny ones. There might be big brute versions of the Talons with swords and shields and stuff. And you gotta, it's an RPG. You gotta get used to it. And they were talking about they liked working with DC because they can just call and say, hey, does this work? And then also be able to connect. They had Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo on that story, on that video to talk about it, which obviously they're the ones who created the Court of Owls. And he said they're doing an excellent job over there. Next, obviously, was just teasers for Batwoman, the CW show for season 3. Yep, season 3. And then they obviously highlighted about Batwing. So obviously they're going into that. This FanDome did a lot of like that. I don't want to call it panhandling, but like the idea of like definitely spotlighting their people of color or LGBT, all that stuff in the series or in their comics in this FanDome, which is, it is what it is. I know how it is. And I'm cool with it. I'm trying to click through this real quick because I know we're not close, but I know we're kind of close to. Next thing was like they had a kind of like the Blue Beetle, just more hyping it up. They had the new Batgirl for the Batgirl movie coming out, and just saying like, yes, she's gonna have red hair. Most likely she'll be in a bat suit that has a cowl and not like just the mask stuff, and like just more confirming stuff that is, again, these are the people, they're in their houses. They're not even on set, but they just know it's coming and they're just more excited to talk about it, which is whatever. Next was a small, just more J.J. Abrams and Matt Reeves talking about the Batman, the Cape Crusader Continues or something, like the next animated series. Still no big production, like talking about like we're drawing it right now, that stuff. Next was which I kind of teased about, but they talk about DMZ, the new Vertigo show that's coming out on HBO Max. They also had Todd McFarlane show that they continue their deal with DC, and they also showed the first nice like lit up costume design of Robert Pattinson's Batman, because they're going to make the first statue for the new Batman, which is cool. And then where is it? Next after the DMZ stuff was they showed a small snippet of CW's Naomi, and it looked fine. I've stated my feelings of Naomi's the series, because I think it's very risky for them to they're making a TV series on a thing that only has 6 issues of its own, and then just of like hit the ground running. Like there's no way they're going to use the Justice League Naomi stuff that's in the most current Justice League run, because it involves the whole thing. It doesn't involve just her. So I definitely don't think they will. It just seems a little risque to use her so early, but they had like a quick minute clip of her, and like involved like her at a presentation. It kind of does like the beginning intro of the first issue, which involves like she heard the rumor that Superman's in her town defending somebody, so she runs out, she kind of passes out. They just show it comes out 2022, it says. And then next they did I had a Shazam production trailer, and they announced that it's going to be 2023. They showed Lucy Liu and can't remember the lady's name. I can't remember the other character's name, but she's going to be Calypso. But it looks good. Of course, I'm more shocked it's going to go all the way to 2023 with Shazam. These kids are going to be able to vote by the time they're done, even get to close to any time Black Adam can fight these kids. So it is what it is. I mean, it looked good. I think it could have done better if we got at least a trailer, even though it's so far away. Next was the starting of like, we're getting close to the end, but the starting of like the Wonder Woman segment. Wonder Woman's about to go through her 80th anniversary, which she currently is, but also is going to be celebrated through the rest of the year and probably a little bit into 2022. And what is it? Like they had like the girl who played Wonder Woman in the 80s and 70s talk about it. She had Patty Jenkins confirming she is right now working on Wonder Woman 3, of probably working on script stuff, nothing in actual production, because I know Gal Gadot is she even said it, like she's just had her 3rd kid, so they're working on that. And then one thing I like, because this is where I think I like this fandom, even though the last year's one is clearly the more cooler one, because they had a lot more announcements, a lot more surprises. But again, they're hitting the ground running on that one. But this one also tells us that there is a Wonder Woman comic event coming. And I think that's what makes it cool, is because they actually connected the craze of like having people talk about movies and TV, and they also still stick to talking about the comics. And it involves like I don't want to call it the Battle of the Amazons, but it involves the current things that are going on. And it will address how Miss Pierce, Diane Pierce, she's dead. Obviously, she's been dead since Infinite Frontier started, and technically Death Metal. And then it involves like how Wonder Woman's mother, who's been on the Justice League, went away, let Nubia be in charge. And it also connects to have Yara, the Wonder Girl, the one from the South America Amazon. They're going to have a full-blown event happening, which is great to hear, just knowing that there's more stuff coming. And then next they did I guess this is probably their first time to be able to like do like a Comic-Con style of this, but they showed Sweet Tooth from Netflix and say they're working on season 2, blah, blah, blah. But they had the little kid who plays Sweet Tooth talk about just his little favorite little spots, and obviously because of just little things, and how he worked with like the artist Jeff Lemire, who is the creator of Sweet Tooth, and like how he had the mechanical ears and shit. You know, just little wholesome stuff of continuing to connect to that part. And then, let's see what else, just to make sure. Oh, this is the thing that also happened that more is not like a big surprise, but I think it's the writing in the sands of once certain things lose their contracts with certain places. But they had a segment with Pennyworth of season 3 of Pennyworth has been greenlit and it's coming to HBO Max, not Epic. And then I'm assuming once season 3 comes out, Pennyworth season 1 and 2 is coming to HBO Max in 2022. So that's probably when the contracts with Epic drop. So what brought that up was because that means probably like how CW shows besides Superman and Lois, like The Flash, Legends, Arrow, are all on Netflix. I wonder when those contracts are up, so they'll start moving them to HBO Max to become the epicenter of DC content. And I hope so. I mean, I think that's always good to have a one-centered station. You're talking to the person who actually enjoyed the DC Universe app before they took it away from us. And then, let's see what else. We're getting close to the end. I know. Oh, good. Yep. All right. So, they ended the show with the Batman. And they had they had the pre-production or like the production set little sizzle stuff. They had Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, and Matt Reeves come sit down, do that Zoom style talking. And what I liked also, which Casey from Geeks Worldwide has always also stated, like, it really showed the bullshit coming from like those Snyder fan zealots that been trying to say, oh yeah, Robert Pattinson does not like Matt Reeves, blah, 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 and all that shit. A lot of stuff was kind of folded into light show like, no, you guys are all just weird, crazy people. I'm glad to see, but I'm trying to flick through this what I'm trying to watch and get to that trailer. That trailer was a perfect way to end this and get you hyped up for March. I want to say it's March 4th is when the Batman comes out. The trailer starts off with, you see a little bit more. They're still hiding the true face of Riddler. You see the side angle. He was at like it looks like that classic Boulevard of Broken Dreams style diner. They see him get arrested. They show Batman actually go through an interrogation spot of it. It shows a little bit more of... not even a little. It shows a lot more Catwoman. in this. It definitely shows the angle that it seems like this movie is going to more go towards the noir style of Batman, which is probably the best way to go into it. Like, keep this baby into detective stuff. They had some bright star. Like, I did not have any concerns with this movie. I knew it was going to be good, but like seeing Colin Farrell kind of get his own work as the Penguin, and just in he's probably in this trailer 10, 15 seconds. And like the first, whoa, take it easy there, Toots. And like that stuff. And like him during a little chase scene with Batman, you see that he blew up the whole street. Oh, I got him. And you see this epic, the Batmobile, like this, the first year one style Batmobile jumping through the fire. It looks like it's going to be a really great ride. I think it's in good hands. I'm really interested because also I forgot there was also news in the Batgirl movie that's coming that we talked about. Batman's also going to be in that, and like they're trying to tease it like we don't know which Batman's going to be. So I think they're trying to keep the cards on the table. Is this going to be Pattinson, or they're going to go into they might use Keaton? I have no clue. But yes, that was the FanDome. I think I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much. And, but yeah, hot picks for TV and movies. Like I said, it might be a list. And, what is it? For TV, Demon Slayer season 2 has started on Hulu / Crunchyroll. And I will first like to just say, if you're going to watch it, please watch the Mugen Train movie first. Then watch season 2, because season 2's first 7 episodes are a retelling of the Mugen Train arc. But judging by the first episode, it seems like it's a complementary thing to the movie. The movie starts kind of like how episode 26 does. You kind of see everybody in the train already, even the Flame Guardian. I forgot the guy's name. But in episode 1, it shows how the Flame Demon Slayer gets to the train. And I think that's cool. I'm just saying the idea that I think it's a good complementary first 7 episodes for the Mugen Train arc. They're technically calling this a prequel. It's not technically even season 2 yet. And then also, it sounds dumb. Well, one of them is dumb. One of them is no-brainer. Halloween Kills is on Peacock. Go check that out. And the other one for your kids, I like the Muppets Haunted Mansion on Disney+. I thought it was pretty funny and a little quirky, like good little time for kids. So yeah. And then for music, what is it? Psych. I don't got nothing for music tonight. It's late. As you understand, it's past midnight. This should be out. For comics, just doing a quick scan of seeing if there's any issue number 1s to tell you about. To really check out. Hold on. Whatever from Dark Horse, Orliv Artifacts issue 1 is coming out. And for DC, we'll see. Ooh, this might actually help too. No, it's not. It's for the wrong one. Batman Secret Files Peacekeeper number 1. Peacekeeper 1, issue 1, which is there's a different Peacekeeper is a person in the Batman storylines going on right now with James Tynion. And then there is a Catwoman Lonely City issue 1 it's a little 4-issue story. Oh, holy shit, I forgot all about that shit too. Fuck. Let me backtrack real quick. let's finish at least Nubia and the Amazons, issue 1. So they get to do a whole story about Nubia, or see that side of the story that's coming out too. And there's a Wonder Woman Tempest Toss Wonder Woman Day special edition. But before we get into more that, I forgot they also mentioned 4 animated things coming from the animated side of DC. One, they actually doing a full-blown Catwoman movie with I can't remember the girl's name, but the girl from Victorious. That's not the main star, but the white chick. They also said there's going to be a Green Lantern movie coming. There's also going to be a DC Teen Titans Go meets the DC Superhero Girls cartoon. And the one that's kind of cool is the Battle of the Super Sons, which will be the first DC film, animated film, that is in all CG. So, again, like I said, there's some really cool things coming down, and that the Catwoman animated trailer looked really cool. It had like a more of an anime feel, and I liked it. It looked really cool. It has Catwoman working with Batwoman. So I'm looking forward to that too. I'm more mad that I didn't almost not mention it. So, but yeah. All right. We just did DC, like I said. Dynamite, which is, they have Purgatory issue 1. Keep going. We're almost done. IDW, does it have, My Little Pony Generations issue 1. Image, Ant, number 1. Gunslinger Spawn, number 1. Hell Cop, issue 1. And then, keep it moving. Marvel. Let's see if we see any issue 1s. Phoenix Song Echo, issue 1. Where is anything else? I don't want to miss anything I like. Looks like nothing from Scout. Nothing new from Vault. For Zenescope, Grim Tales of Terror Quarterly issue 1. Halloween special number 1. And then Grim Spotlight Cinderella vs. Zombies issue 1. It's a one shot. And then I'm going to double check, because did I pass Mad Cave without even looking at Mad Cave? Just to double check. They didn't even have it. So, but yeah. So that's it for the show. Thank you guys for sticking through it. And obviously, please tell a friend. You just saw before recording, we hit past 1,000 listens. Took 70 episodes to get there. But we did, and I couldn't do it without you, because I don't listen to this shit either. Yeah, follow me on at MikeFowler93. Like we say every week, I'll catch you next week. Peace. Be good to each other.